2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans.
Welcome to Fan Stream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air. Stand by.
Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome in to the JP Peterson Show. We apologize. We're in the little temporary quarters today as our new podcast set gets built and set up here at the great CP Communications in St. Petersburg. But we're good to go. We're ready to rock. Nick Geddes is here from Outsider.com. We're going to talk some Braves baseball, some Buccaneers. Brad Johnson is going to join us. Big Bad Brad. Bucs Super Bowl-winning quarterback in 2002 and now has reinvented himself as Big Bad Brad, a TikTok sensation and Instagram sensation. And, of course, his son Max is now the starting quarterback at Texas A&M. So we'll chat with him about all things college football, NFL football, and just have some fun with Brad around 10:30. And we'll talk some Lightning as well as they get set to take start training camp with a lot of new faces and a lot of old faces gone. There's going to be a big transition this year for the Tampa Bay Lightning, but the good news is the core players are still there, and that's great. So we say good morning to you, Nick Geddes. How are you?
I'm good. Did you say Lightning?
I did say
We're already less than 3 weeks away from
20 days from opening night.
20 days from opening night. I know you're jacked up to get back inside.
Oh, yeah. We're doing our first rehearsal Tuesday, I believe, next week. So, yeah, we're getting ready to get back in the building. Yeah, a lot of new things happening with the Lightning. Got a new radio station in 102.5 The Bone. There's secondary signal 102.52. The HD is going to be all dedicated Lightning and maybe some other nice things on that station as well for all you sports fans out there that have been looking for an alternative. So we're working on some of that. So, yeah, a lot of great things happening for the Lightning broadcast-wise, but it's definitely going to be a new deal. I mean, Ryan McDonough, I think a lot of us maybe underestimated how important he was to all the success of this team in the back-to-back championships. He was arguably their best player in 2020 and during the first cup run. And, you know, he's going to be missed. There's no doubt about it. And Mikhail Sergachev now has a boatload of money. And with that money comes responsibility. And he's going to have to step up and take a lot of those penalty kill minutes that McDonough played and probably absorb some of the better defensive matchups. So he's definitely going to have to step up his game. Sergachev is going to be a huge key to this season. Ian Cole probably will get some of those penalty killing responsibilities as well, one of the newcomers. You know, and remember, they're going to be without Cirelli and Bogo for the first 2 months of the season, both of them coming off of injuries. So, and who's going to replace Palat? Vlad Nemestikov is probably the leading guy. He played with Pointer and Kucherov in the past. So, you know, maybe he can come in and fill in where a lot of those numbers, you know, remember how good Palat was in the postseason. So it's definitely a year of change. This is what salary caps do. But the good news is we still have the best defenseman in the league in my mind. I'm not giving it up.
No,
I'm not giving it up yet.
I'll give it up a little bit.
Victor Hedman. We still have the best goalie in the game. We still have maybe the best playmaker in the game in Kucherov. Stamkos coming off a career year. And, you know, you still have one of the best two-way players in Braden Point. So I'm good.
I'm going to say, good. As long as you got 91, 86, 88, 77, and now 21, who really wasn't a factor at the end of the season last year. We forget about that. As long as you have those 5 players, you still have a shot. And you know the Lightning are definitely going to have somebody who comes out of nowhere and probably fill the holes. They held on to that guy. Remember Philip Myers, who they got in that McDonough trade? Everybody thought they were going to trade him.
Yep.
They see something in him. I bet he becomes a top 4 defenseman at some point during his time here, because it's just what the Lightning do with these players. So,
and Nick Paul had a great year.
Nick Paul's back as well,
but he'll develop even more in this system. And Hagel will get some better coaching and better development in terms of his skating. I think he's going to be an important piece. So I think there's a lot of questions to be answered, but a lot of optimism certainly and excitement. You know, this is going to be a new team, and it's going to be fun to watch. The excitement's back in Amalie Arena. It just
and I was driving in today, and I saw they got the new banners on the side of the of Amalie Arena. They went up yesterday, just in time for media day and training camp open today, and they look very cool, very cool. So I need to get down there and look at them and everything. So it's getting me in the mood here. I mean, we're so much going on now in the month of September and October.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be able to get some Lightning players on during this preseason and get back into hot. It's always weird when it's football season. I get it. And obviously the Rays are still in a playoff push, and we'll get to them in a moment. But, this has become a hockey town. And, for a lot of people, this is their sport, and this is what they're into. This is where they spend their money. So it's going to be fun. And still, for my money, as good as the Bucs are now with the GOAT and Brady, going to a Bucs game is pretty special. I'm not going to lie. But to me, on a consistent basis, the Lightning are the best show in town.
And I mean that not just in sports. I mean that around everything. I don't think there's a better event you can go to in the city of Tampa.
No, they spend a lot of money in the production of the game, which is probably where we will segue into the boring, cavernous Walmart bullcrap stadium that had 8,900 people in it last night at Tropicana Field. The prices are down. I thought more people would fill it up, but it's just, and I know you want to go off on the fans. We certainly have some culpability here because the prices have come down, but it still doesn't change the other core factors. The location is horrible. The stadium is awful. The owner is not very popular. There's a lot of people that won't go, including myself, because of him, and spend money there. It's just not a good game experience. It's just not a good, entertaining experience. And even with the prices down, and you can still watch the game on TV, who really wants to go across? And people are spending their money on Lightning tickets now. They're spending their money on weekend trips to Gainesville and Tallahassee and New Orleans and Dallas. People are spending their money on other things that I think they feel a lot better spending their money on, knowing that they can just turn on the TV and follow their Rays. And going to a game, and we cannot forget that this is a market of one of the lowest per capita incomes. You combine a recession, a real recession, and ridiculous historic inflation and high gas prices to get to that location. None of that stuff is a positive in getting fans to the game. None of it. In fact, all of it's a real negative. And in a time when you got other ways to spend your money and dispensable income now is at an all-time low, 2/3 of people in America, 2/3, and I'd probably say more in the Tampa Bay area, are living check to check. Just saying, hey, let's even $50, $60, let's go to the Rays game tonight. And we can stay home, hon, and watch it on TV and order Uber Eats.
But I throw that argument out the window for this series in particular because of the price drop. I mean, the fans wanted it. Everybody called for it, right? And the Rays delivered on it. It's cheap. I'm at the point with the Rays. It's like the excuses for me from some fans who claim that they're mega fans and the Rays are their number one team. If you love the team so much, in my opinion, at some point you have to go to the game. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Yeah, the support has to be there, and it's not there right now. And the bottom line is, it's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing to turn on a baseball game between the best team in the American League and then a team that's competing to be in the playoffs and see 8,900 in the crowd for Shane McClanahan on the mound, by the way, versus, Christian Javier, who's a really good pitcher for you. It's a great matchup. It's like, what else are you doing with your money on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night that you're not going to the Rays game? I understand what you're saying. I get it. But it's like, if you're such a big Rays fan.
Paying for kids travel hockey, paying for kids.
If you're such a big Rays fan and there's so many of you out here, you need to go to the games.
Dude, did you watch that game on TV last night?
A little bit. I
literally found myself channel surfing to stuff I will not even admit on this show that I'll watch. It was so bad. It was so bad.
It was.
It was just a snooze fest. You're getting out no hit through 5 innings, 4 2/3. You can't get a hit.
About the second night in a row.
You haven't scored a run in 20 innings. 20 innings. The only at-bat worth watching is Wander Franco. It's all Shane McClanahan's got a neck problem now to go with his shoulder problem. I mean, it's just not good. It's not entertaining. There's no obligation to watch the Rays. I mean, it's my obligation because we do a sports show and we need to watch it. But my God, I felt like I am at work today. I'm freaking working hard right now to watch this shit. It's awful. It's awful. It's just not entertaining. And they don't do anything in-house to spice it up. They don't, there's just nothing. There's no, let's get back to the bare bones of this. Part of this is the fact that we have the 26th lowest payroll in baseball. We don't have proven hitters. We don't pay for power. We don't pay for big-time hitters. So if you're not going to put money into the product, how do you expect people to go? Yes, like Smoltz said last week, they figured out the regular season. They can get the pitching thing down. Their analytics really help with that. They turn regular pitchers into guys that can really be effective. Woo. Wow. Let's go see Colin Poche spin that 91-mile-an-hour cutter. Woo! That's going to be exciting. Whoa, yeah. Let's go watch each Zach Paredes strike out 3 times. Woo! It's not entertaining. It's awful.
I think you're being a bit harsh here on a Wednesday morning myself.
Being a little bit hyperbolic trying to be entertaining, trying to add a little life to this morbid experience of watching the Rays. My God, just
come on,
Jesus, it's awful.
10 days ago, though, we were talking about the Rays being the hottest team in baseball. And they were playing an enjoyable brand of baseball. The offense was rolling, and we were having fun talking about the Rays.
Who were we playing? The Texas Rangers, Kansas City.
They were playing the Yankees at the time and beating the Yankees until the last series.
They were on a bit of a hot streak.
They were on a hot streak, and it was enjoyable. So I don't want to get on here and overreact after 2 games and everything against the best team in the league. It does seem like a precursor of what you think is going to happen when we get to the playoffs.
Exactly.
I think that's kind of where we're coming. At least where you're coming from a little bit. But I don't think that should steer people away from going to the games. I just don't. I really don't. Support your team. Get in the building.
So much.
Because this is less. What's alarming to me, this is less than what we were seeing at various points of the season when everybody was bitching and complaining about all the factors.
Well,
8,900 against the Astros.
But again, this is serious business. This economy. It may not be hitting you, but it's hitting a lot of people that have families. It's hard, man. It's hard to make ends meet right now. And when you get to the point where you're saying, I don't have enough money to fill up my gas tank, you're not freaking going to a baseball game.
Okay.
You're not.
I know the situation's a little bit different because there's only 8 of them and compared to 81 games, but I guarantee you there's going to be 60, 70,000 people. They're going to fill Raymond James Stadium and spend $300 a pop a ticket to be there.
Well, honestly, that's another factor. Because, typically people who are raised fans, right? They're sports fans.
Probably.
And they're going to go to games. So now you're going to make choices. All right, well, I just, I spent $200 on tickets for the Bucs this weekend to go see the GOAT and Aaron Rodgers in a jam-packed stadium, NFL football, great show. Compare that to the Rays.
I know that, but
come on.
It's just the thing that every market deals with this, and at some point, we can only make so many excuses, and the commissioner and everybody in baseball can only hear so many excuses of why it's not working. And this,
get it right. Get it right. Finally, get it right. Move it to where people are. That's what the Braves did.
I don't disagree with you.
That's what, this is not freaking rocket science. Move the stadium to the middle of the freaking market. Build a modern amenities stadium. People just don't go to games because you have a team anymore. You have to have a accessible stadium. It has to bring energy. The stadium itself has to have amenities. It has to bring energy. There has to be things around it. This is 2022. This is not 1985. I get so pissed off when I see these stupid. Well, the team is winning. Why are people showing up at Tropicana Field? 1985 mentality. If you win, then people should show up. No, it's not how it works these days. If you haven't figured it out, there's 750 channels on TV. There's 17 billion social networks. There's competition for people's attention. You can't just throw a baseball team out there and win the 90 games and go, oh, well, the stadium should be all filled up. They're winning. No, it doesn't have. That's such a dinosaur mentality. You have to cater to people. You have to invest in the product to get people to come. And the Rays don't invest in their team. They don't invest in their stadium. They don't invest in their location. The owner gives the finger to everybody, all the fans, constantly. If we're in a recession, people don't have a lot of money around here. We expect people to just go, oh, well, it's the playoffs. Let's just go over to here's my money. Here's my money. I don't have it, but let's put it on. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And it's asinine actually to think that people would go. Why would they go?
Well, if that's the case, if that's the case, I don't want to hear any more fans complaining on Twitter. I don't want to see anybody in group chats complaining and this and that and this, that, or the other.
Point well taken.
I'm tired of it then. I don't want to hear it anymore because you're not going to go for any reason. So don't tell me don't go and complain and tell me why you're not going because you're not going to go for any reason. Okay, I think that's just proven in my opinion because we gave the credit Rays for doing this 2 weeks ago.
Yes, we did.
When they announced this, we gave them credit. Also, we said that with a caveat.
You gave them credit. I said
you should have been doing this
all along. You don't
get
credit for doing things you should be doing all the time.
Yes, fair. But we gave them credit regardless for doing this and thinking that it should have worked because last year, explain to me how we did this last year during this time of year.
Recession. It
can't be the difference of 12,000 fans being in the games last year and this year.
Considering your paycheck, you're paying. And by the way, 8%. The gas pump, the things that you really spend money on every day, it's not 8%. Everybody will tell you the real inflation. When you talk about the real things you spend money on, gas, groceries, rent, home, all that stuff has gone up 20%. So, and wages have gone down. Well, haven't gone up enough. So, yeah, people are hurting. And the first thing that goes is dispensable income. And the things that you used to willy-nilly, spend money on, you would, and by the way, the Rays attendance this year is up 47%.
Yeah.
So, last night was not good, but I chalk it up to a lot of it because the economy's gotten so bad lately. And also football season has started up and people have to choose between going to Bucs games and going to Rays games. And that's not even close, bro.
I guess my frustration is I wish, and I understand why they don't. Okay. I get it. I just wish we could get to a point at some point where people would start to choose the Rays as a priority, but I understand. I know the rebuttal to that is because the stadium, there's no experience, yada, yada, yada. We know all that. I just am frustrated that we can't get to a point where people are not setting aside disposable income for the Rays because I think the team really deserves it. I think the team deserves it. I think a lot of the guys who run that organization outside of the owner, whatever you want to get into there, are great people.
They are.
And they deserve to have a stadium filled. Those players do. It has to be dejecting for them to look around last night.
God, yes.
We're playing the Houston Astros, and there is nothing but blue seats here available. And there's a whole contingency of Astros fans making up about.
What up big last night. And the McCullers family's going to show up big. It's 90 pitches, right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, by the way, it'd be nice if you drafted players from your own hometown that are really, really good. That might be a strategy for the Rays as well. Yeah, by the way, tip of the cap to Kyle Tucker, friend of the program. What a great young man. Just, we had him on weeks and weeks ago. I had a chance to play golf with him in the offseason, and just as nice a young man as you'll ever. How do you not root for that cat? Hits 100 RBIs. This dude is a bona fide all-star superstar in this league. Stud. I mean, 6'4", runs like the wind, great defender. 100 RBIs. Again, it's in your own backyard. Maybe we should scout these people a little bit better here in our own backyard. The kid's phenomenal. And boy, wouldn't he look good in a Rays uniform? He'd be a broke bitch, but he'd look good. And guess what? It might help attendance a little bit too.
Has he signed a contract yet? I don't think he's got.
He's still on his.
Well, he's probably going to get some kind of 8-year, $200 million extravaganza. So
coming up soon. But yeah, so a big ups to Kyle Tucker, and what a great young man and a great player and a great family, and just great to see one of our own really flourish. And we'll see another tonight in Lance McCullers. So yeah, let's get in some of these comments here. I'll have to put my glasses on to read some of these. Ronnie Wilkins says, I watched the 2015 Cubs make the NLCS with a young core and fall short, and then front office filled in the holes, and guess what? They won. They didn't stay content and raise division banners. Yeah, well, look what we did when we got to the World Series. We dismantled the team and went cheap again. That you don't invest in your product. Why should people come? For 4 seasons, Boston and New York have been mediocre. We didn't get the gas pedal to take advantage. That's right. 100% right, Lonnie. We didn't. Where did we invest? Did we go out and get a slugger? No.
I mean, they went out and they spent a lot of money on Charlie Morton 3 years ago. They spent a lot of money on Charlie Morton.
And then they declined his option.
Yeah, but
for
they went
$15
after
million.
They did went after it.
But going after it is not. That's a mid-level.
And they tried with Nelson Cruz.
Again, not a lot of outlay in cash. You got to go find a bona fide power hitter and sign him or trade for him, and have him for an extended period of time that gets in the lineup every day. Just having one dude in there in the 3-hole that you have to be worried about. Then Franco looks better. Then Peralta looks better. Then Paredes looks better. Everybody gets more pitches. Just with one guy can change the whole lineup. And we need two. If you win, you could go out and pay for 2 sluggers, still be at less than $110 million with the young talent you have here. And that's not even close to league average. It's not that much. And by the way, your owner has $500 million in the bank that he said he'd always put the profits back into the team. Never did. Never did. Total lie. Does anybody in the media call him on it? Nope. Nobody but me. Richie P., average guy in Tampa Bay area, thinks, where should I spend my money? Go to Rays games? Nah. Bucs, maybe. Bolts if my girl wants to go. Gas tank, $20, then end up at the strip club. There may be a lot more truth to that than I'd like to admit, but probably true. Joe F. says they hurt themselves by not putting money back into the team and also do the ticket packages at the start of the season. 100%. Why not build excitement at the beginning and show fans you care? Thank you, Joe F. Absolutely. That's part of it. There's residue for you charging $71 for outfield seats all year long. A lot of people that were thinking about going to games this year probably said, you know what? I might take in a Rays game. Let me check out the tickets. What? 71 for an outfield ticket? F you. I'm not doing that. And they don't check again. They're done. That's how it works. Navarro over Buster will never have issue. We'll never forget. It wasn't Navarro. It was because they had Navarro at the time.
They had Navarro at the time, and he was an all-star.
And they went got the high school kid was shortstop BJ, right? It wasn't Beckham. Alex Summers. I've been to 6 games this year. Let me see this. Sorry. I've been to 6 games this year. In this economy, I feel I did my job. Other people need to take their turn and go. I'll be there every home playoff we get. Yeah, the playoffs will be packed, right?
Yeah, that's a fantastic comment there.
Yeah, it's
there
true.
You go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's one.
we just need more people like that. I don't know. I want people to have positive attitudes about going to the games.
When it comes to spending, Stu acts like the green in his pocket is poison ivy. Yeah, no doubt. Prime example of how the Rays play games in the ticket office. I stepped up to the plate and I signed up for the Rays season ticket pass, where you have a designated credit at the beginning of the season. Didn't use it all up. Got notified a week before it ended, and I asked to use it for playoff games, and he tells me no, it expires if you don't use it. No rolling over to playoff games. Look, I understand you put conditions on it, but here you have somebody who actually wants to spend money on the games. They've given you the money. Why not say, okay, all right.
Those are the things the Rays front office do that do irk me, though.
Yeah,
like
that's stupid.
What gives you the right to try to tell people you can't do this to get people in the stadium?
Right. I mean, you want to, of all franchises, you need to be building up goodwill with your fans. And by the way, I think the Bucs have done a great job of this. When obviously for a long time, their customer service was awful. And I think Brian Ford, actually, I think the Bucs now for like 3 or 4 years in a row have had the best customer service ratings of any team in the NFL.
Yeah,
you can turn it around,
because we've had conversations with Brian Ford, privately, and you could tell how much he cares about the team and how much he cares about the fan base and all that. It kind of radiates off of him a little bit, and you need somebody like that in charge of that part of your team, I think, to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just blew past what Jordan said, but think about this: this guy does what you say, steps up, buys a ticket package. Mm-hmm. All right. Didn't, for whatever reason, didn't get to all the games that he wanted to during the year. Can I roll those over into the playoffs? No. I mean, come on. You really want to do some customer service? That's just, all right, you know what? We got your money. F you. You don't want to come to the playoffs? Give us more.
You know what that reminds me of?
It's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
You know what this reminds me of? I have a good analogy for you here.
What?
Because this was a real world example that happened to me 2 days ago. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I ordered a Starbucks coffee.
Right.
Something I don't do.
Right.
Okay. I thought I got it to go through the drive-thru and pick it up to the drive-thru.
Right.
I go all the way to the drive-thru, wait in the line and everything, and the guy at the drive-thru tells me, "You placed a pickup order. You have to come inside and pick it up." And I said, "You can't walk like 10 feet
and grab it
and get my coffee."
Right.
No. So I had to park and get out and get my coffee.
You got to be kidding me.
Starbucks, you suck.
You got to be kidding me.
I use that analogy because it's all about their conditions and their policy, and that's how I feel. I'm relating that here to what Jordan said here, these conditions and policies. But that pissed me off.
It should piss you off.
This is why I don't do Starbucks.
Right. I would never do Starbucks again. This is why
I'm holding this beautiful cup of coffee that has branding that's not simplistic still and looks good and pops.
Yeah. There you go.
Starbucks.
And by the way, the coffee's better and it's half
way
the price.
Better.
It's half the price. Yeah, absolutely 1000%. When you get customer service like that, you should say, screw you. I'm never coming back. You couldn't walk 10 feet. Guess what? I'm never coming back. And you know, Jordan Gamillion here is a loyal Rays fan. He'll probably go to playoff games. But if I were him, I'd say, really? You know what? I'm done with you. You'll never get a penny of my business again. Screw you.
Do we even get I'm trying to figure out the playoff position. So we're in the second spot right now. So we'd play Toronto.
Right.
And it'd be a 3-game
at their place.
A 3-game
By
series.
the way, this just in. I don't know what the hell happened in Canada. Maybe all this flack that Trudeau is getting through to him. But they dropped their vaccine mandate.
Oh, cool.
To get in. So if we do have to go to Toronto,
so Rayleigh can be in there.
Then we'll have our full complement of pitchers.
Good,
yes.
I doubt Posh would be on the roster.
Anyway, you call it a Posh now?
I'm calling him Posh. You have to earn your name now.
You don't get a Shay.
No.
Until you don't get a Posh Shay.
You might get a Poosh.
You're going to turn into a Poosh. Yes, you might get that. Yeah, well done. He's got to earn that little.
You got to earn your name.
Your little thing at the end there, Posh.
I had to earn my name on this show. I was Nicky Numbers for about 6 months.
That's right.
That's how it goes in this world. Toughen up, kids.
There's accountability out there. Really, where? Do we even want to play Kevin Cash from last night? Yeah, let's play it. You know, even though I love Cash, we'll make fun of him.
I like listening to Cash speak because he always gets a little bit more snippy.
He's got to be salty Cash right now.
Yeah.
Really salty after 20 innings and not seeing your team score. Jeez.
Yeah. See if I can get it loaded here.
Just got to go home and stare at your paycheck.
All right, Kevin, we'll start with Shane. The left side of his neck, tightness and spasms. I guess what's the report on him?
I think he's in a pretty good spot. I mean, he was pretty adamant. He did not want to come out. Was not happy about that. But we're trying to make the best decision. It's the second start back from
that's Brad Collin
missing some time on the IL.
Let's hold it.
I think we all understand how.
That's our good friend Brad Collin. I'm pretty sure. So, well, you know what? Let's take a break. We'll come back on the other end and we'll get Brad Johnson on. We'll listen to Mr. Cash a little bit later on.
Brad Collin again.
He's very persistent. All right, quick break. Here on the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Emerging Investigations, emerginginv.com. We'll be back in a second with Big Bad Brad Johnson joins us. Stay with us. Was your car totaled in an accident? Did your insurance concept in rehabilitation clinics, veterans helping veterans. At Heroes Mile, we staff our rehab center with fellow veterans who can understand what you're going through. Our mission is to help you heal from issues that only your fellow veterans can truly understand. Located just outside of DeLand, we offer a full range of inpatient and outpatient programs dealing with substance abuse, post-traumatic stress, and military sexual trauma. We choose to serve veterans because we know how complex these issues are. You could choose to fight the battle alone or win the war together. We are the community care provider with the VA and also accept most major insurance. At Heroes Mile Rehabilitation Center, we have your six. Go to heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2. That's heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on Fan Stream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging Investigations, emerginginv.com. Tampa Bay's #1 private investigation agency. Check them out at emerginginv.com. It's a free call to just give them a ring over there, ask for Rachel, and she'll talk you through the whole process. If you've got some issues with your spouse or maybe a disgruntled employee or something, you need some private investigation work. Insurance fraud is something they do especially well. Just give them a call. Go to emerginginv.com and have their contact information. It's a free call. All right. I'm going to welcome in our good friend Brad Johnson. Big Bad Brad. He's probably more worldwide renowned for his antics on Instagram and TikTok now than being a Super Bowl winning quarterback for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What's up, Brad? How are you?
Doing great, JP. Back by popular demand.
Yes,
so I've had I had a lot of fun with social media and all the trick shots and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully everyone's been kind of enjoying all that.
How the hell is it so easy for you to throw a football into a basketball hoop from, like, how far away is that? Did you do that? Like 45 yards? I mean, that's a long way.
I don't know. I always tell people, they always ask, how long does it take? And I tell them it's, a lifetime of practice kind of thing.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
It's, the whole thing with those things, if it's just, there's one shot, those are kind of easy. But if I'm trying to make 3, 4, 5 in a row, those are what gets a little bit, I'll get a little sweat going on those. And that's kind of when you do see me celebrate. That's why it's honestly a true jubilation when I make multiple shots in a row, because I've probably been out there for a little bit of, a quick minute. You know what I mean? So.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen this, you got to follow Big Bad Brad on TikTok and Instagram. I mean, when you did 5 doinks in a row from the sideline with a football on an upright, I think I saw you do 5 in a row. Like, that's ridiculous.
That was a Picasso. Honestly, I was trying to get 3 in a row, and I'd been out there for a couple of days with a bag of balls with a bunch of high school kids. And then I walked in the locker room that day, and I looked at them. They looked at me. And I said, "Boys, you want to go viral?" And they said, "Yeah, let's go." And so it was called corner pocket second pole, and throwing from the pylon.
Right.
I hit the second pole, which was 5 doinks. And honestly, JP, it was one of those things. It was the perfect day, and I don't know if it'll ever be done again. It was my Picasso.
That was a
Picasso.
I
had fun doing it. I'll never try it again. So that was it.
That's fantastic. I got to say this, man, because I watch almost all your stuff. Who's having more fun with you than you? You were out at Texas A&M State, Kyle Field, playing like pickup ball with the boys. What was that all about?
Yeah. I always get on there and I say, "Who has more fun than me?" And I go, "No." So
nobody.
But I went out there with the equipment managers one day. So I did a doink, and we did a 2-point play. It was one of Gruden's favorite plays, Fire 2 Live Banana, tribute to him. And then we did a field goal, about pulled my hamstring on that. And then actually went to the top of the stadium, to be honest with you, the top of the stadium, and tried to doink the goalpost. And it was a 20-minute hike to the top. It was crazy. And did not hit it, but I was up there trying it, though. It was kind of what Dude Perfect, they did there kind of when they got famous back in the day, kind of one of those deals. But it was pretty cool. Just I'm having fun doing it, and hopefully everyone enjoys and gets, laughs out of it and all the above.
Oh, it is fun to watch. All right, so tell me, you went through a year with Max, your son, playing quarterback for LSU, and he had a hell of a year there. Decided to transfer to Texas A&M. Didn't get the start in week 1. or I don't know what week it was for 10, but didn't go well against Appalachian State for the other quarterback. And then he gets to start against Miami running that offense for the first time and gets a big W. Man, what was that scene like? 102,000 they put in Kyle Field?
It's a lot. It's the third largest crowd they ever had. 107,000 people.
107,000.
The tradition is real. 107,000. It really truly. If everyone gets a chance sometime, you ought to come see a game at Kyle Field. It really is tradition is real. It's a military school. You don't have to take military classes, but it's spectacular to see a game in there, especially a night game. And so, I mean, honestly, JP coming from Max left at throwing 35 touchdowns and 7 picks at LSU, made a big bold change to come to A&M.
Yeah.
And for a lot of different reasons, that's a whole different 30 for 30 story one day. But honestly, it was the only things you can control your attitude and effort, and that's what you're taught, and that's what his approach has been getting here. And so finally, got the chance to start. It was really cool. It was a national TV game.
Yeah.
Miami coming off of a crazy upset game with App State and those kind of things. They happen. College football, it's real. But the other pretty cool part about it too, JP, honestly, was Mark Richt. He's my brother-in-law, coached me at Florida State. He was the head coach at Georgia, and obviously he was at Miami too. And so I had a chance to go to Miami. But then Mark and Catherine, they came to the game, and they were on the sidelines and then sitting at the 50-yard line kind of seats. And really, that's the first time he'd really actually seen Max play live too, against his former school that he went to, his alma mater, and where he coached at just a few years ago. So it was a needed win for Texas A&M, and glad Max got a chance to kind of go out there and get his career started here at A&M.
Brad Johnson joining us here. And how's Jake doing? How's your other son doing there? Is he going to get the playing time?
Jake's doing good. Jake's had to deal with a couple injuries.
Okay.
So he really hasn't got to play as much as you'd want or hope and those kind of things. And his time is coming. But actually in the first game they got to play, they were in there together. So he caught a little 2-yard pass from Max. And when the announcer announced it, he said, said Johnson to Johnson, he said brother to brother. And so it's really just a pretty cool moment to get your first college pass from your brother.
That's so cool.
Experience it. It's really pretty cool.
Hey, have you been watching the Bucs at all or paying attention to the NFL? No,
I mean,
that's a no.
The Bucs are hard knocks. The Bucs are hard knocks, and they're not even on hard knocks. It's really interesting, and so all the stuff that took place in training camp, off season, all the above. It's really incredible. But to be 2-0, to win in Dallas, and to win last week's game and against the Saints, it's kind of been there. They were our nemesis when I played. Not alone the last 3 years or so here was taking place in the NFC South, but for them to win the way they have, and then be 2-0, and then host the next 2 big games with Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers and Kansas City coming up with Mahomes. It's spectacular. They have honestly one of the best defenses in the NFL, if not the best, and they're all over the field, and it's just fun to watch. And then how they're operating on offense with a bunch of injuries and whatever's going to take place this week. But I know they'll find a way to compete and hopefully win that game.
I was going to say, do you almost get flashbacks like seeing this team and the way they're winning with the defense, kind of how it was when you were playing with the Buccaneers? You always
early on this season. Don't insult Brad.
I'm not insulting. I'm not insulting anything. The defense was amazing.
Yeah, we'll go there.
Oh, come on.
But no, if you're gonna win, you better be great in all 3 phases.
Yeah,
you better be great. And you look at Brett Favre when he won it. He had Reggie White and Leroy Butler, and go through every Super Bowl team. It takes a great defense. It takes a great kicker. It takes being clutch and clutch moments, and just you got to be lucky at the same time. And so all the above, and that's the ingredients of great players. And that's what you find when we won it. You find the guys went on. They had many Pro Bowlers, many Hall of Fame players to go on, and hopefully even more with the 3 we had. And then the assistant coaches that actually became head coaches in our time with Mike Tomlin and Raheem Morris and Rich Bisaccia and Rod Marinelli and Joe Barry and all these guys. And that's what you'll find with the Tampa Bay organization now. Guys that are assistant coaches now that will become great coaches or head coaches eventually. And then the Hall of Famers and great players on this team, they're making their own stamp right now. And it's fun to watch great football, great players playing in great moments. And when you play a 17-game season now, you're going to have like craziness that takes place, whether it's a fight last week or suspensions or injuries. And the great teams can overcome that. And that's what you have in Tampa Bay right now. And fun to watch Todd Bowles get another chance to be a head coach and the greatness he'll bring to that organization.
Brad Johnson joining us here. I mean, do you see how Brady is handling all the things that he's going through? And obviously, you know, he's got a lot of receiver stuff to work through. He's got stuff on and off the field. Can you imagine at age 45, all the stuff that he's going through to still try to play this game? And you know, his arm is as good as ever. That's the thing. It's just some other stuff that's probably holding him back right now, more team related. What do you think?
Yeah, physically, I always felt as a quarterback, if you keep throwing, you don't really lose your arm. Like, you really don't lose that. I think as you get older, what you lose is your legs. And what's amazing to me is how well he's kept himself in shape. So that part of it, he's probably, you know, the way he's conditioned himself in the off season, all that's amazing. But his ability to be relentless, competitive, and to also be compartmentalized. Everything that takes place on the field, off the field, it's a lot. And as you get older, there are more things and distractions and things that take place. But the thing about Tom, his greatness is he comes ready to play. Every Sunday, he gives his team a chance to win. And the belief. I remember one time we were playing against John Elway, and you have a 14-point lead, but you like, here comes John Elway. He's going to find a way to win. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just the Darth Vader side of playing that position. You know, you feel like he's going to come back and win, and that's what Tom gives. He makes his organization, the players around him, believe, and he's done it for 20 some odd years. It's amazing, and just in awe of what he's been able to do. Fun to watch. Greatness.
Hey, back to this defense just for 1 second. I know it's only through 2 games, but they were talking about it even before the season began, that some people think this could end up being the best Buccaneers defense of all time. I've already had that pointed out. Devin White talked about it a little bit. You were around to see the greatest defense of all time, had to go up against it in practice every day. Do you think there'll ever be a defense that could top that, or do you think that will always be the standard, what we saw in 2002?
That's the standard that you want. Obviously, back in our era, guys went on to be Hall of Famers. There were so many great players that on that team that could have been. There were great players themselves that we don't even talk about. The Shelton Corals and Brian Kellys and Dexter Jackson's MVP and Greg Spires, and I mean the list goes on of those guys. And even before that, the greatness. But I really think it's kind of unfair to compare, which that's what we all like to do, because great is great. And, you know, this team will be defined the way, you know, the outcome of the regular season and what they do in the playoffs, and let them define that themselves. So appreciate the greatness of the past and appreciate these guys now and let them have their own story.
Brad Johnson joining us here. You know, Brad, as I recall watching the game on the other night at Texas A&M, I said, you know, I remember when you played against Miami, you played against those great teams. This is not that great Miami team, no doubt about it. But it's just, what kind of lessons can you talk to Max about? A lot of same things that you dealt with. How do you don't have to get too personal, but just what type of conversations do you guys have about, you know, this is big time college football. You're going to compete for starting positions. You're going to play in these big games. It's got to be great for him that his dad went through this.
Yeah, it seems like we have a lot of lunches and dinners and phone conversations, and so, you know, it's really interesting that I'm able to, anything that he's ever going through, I've been through it. I mean, I've been through the best of times, the worst of times, any situation that comes up, how to deal with it. Like, I have a story to tell.
Yeah.
And the good and the bad. And the greatness of players is like, how do you deal with adversity? And competition, it's real. And losing is real.
Yeah.
And playing the quarterback position, it's like, you know, I always say it's a pat on the back and slap on the face or 6 inches away. And that's the position you play. It's a gauntlet. When you do good, everyone pats you on the back. When you do bad, like, your name's on the headlines regardless, you know? So you sign up for that as a quarterback.
Yeah.
And Max realizes that. He loves the moments. Loves leading his team. And it's pretty cool, honestly. I mean, even the other night, JP, I mean, the last team you beat at LSU was Texas A&M on a 2-minute drive, you know?
Oh, my
and
God,
now you're playing with the same guys.
Oh.
So it's really interesting how things turn. But at the end of the day, it's all about making the read, making the throw, making the play, and leading your guys. And there's so much more to the position than just throwing a spiral or how many yards you throw for. Like, there's just so many things that take place from leadership wise in a locker room to in the huddle to dealing with the adversity. I mean, like there's a couple players, honestly, there's a couple players that got suspended the other night, a couple freshmen. Okay.
Yeah.
And they talked about it. Well, Sunday night, one of those freshmen, Max was throwing to the kids Sunday night, on the day off.
Yeah.
To get that kid back up to pace. So like
nice.
Those are the moments, those are people, they don't know what takes place at that position. So it's a long story here, but obviously
that's
I
awesome.
have many stories to share with Max, but he's blazing his own trail, and it's fun to watch him do that.
And they, luckily you didn't have social media back in your day when you were playing.
Oh God.
How do Max and Jake, I mean, you're taking advantage of it now, but how do Max and Jake handle that in this day and age? I would tell, I actually talking with, going back and forth with Devin White from the Bucs the other day. He's starting to engage with fans on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, Twitter's for fans. It's not for players to go back and forth with on. You just don't do that, but you have to have a presence. I get that. Put your story out there. Don't go back and forth with fans. That's a no-win situation. What do you tell,
exactly.
or how does Max and Jake handle it?
Yeah, for me, honestly, I'm 54, so I can do whatever I want to do. So that's kind of why I do it. And I'm just having fun. Like it's silly, but with them, honestly, they don't do. Max, he doesn't even have a Twitter account now. It's off.
Smart.
Jake has one, but he doesn't even post or doesn't even see it. And then they both have Instagram, but they really don't even post. It's just there. And so, I mean, they've kind of just. Honestly, they've been kind of blessed to not be a part of that. It's there, but they don't really engage in it. And so I think at some point when you get into the marketing world and you have somebody really doing it for you, then that's another story.
Right.
As a pro player, but to banter back with fans and those kind of things, players, they really should stay away from all that. I always tell people, like, your greatness should be in your craft of your play, and then let everyone else talk about you instead of you having to promote yourself on the Twitter. It's different for the trick shot people, the goofiness of it all.
Yeah.
But for them having to play, especially, I mean, honestly, JP, like you're dealing with, college kids, you're doing 19, 20-year-old kids that are like going to class and worried about getting parking tickets and, not alone play games on national TV, So it's really interesting.
Yeah, it really is. Hey, you fall in, I know the game was on Friday night. Maybe you saw the FSU game and what Coach Norvell is doing. I tell you what, I could not be more impressed with him. I mean, there's a video out there of his pregame speech and postgame speech. I'll send it to you if you haven't seen it. Really, really impressive. And that win was as gutsy a win as I've seen from Florida State in a long, long time. What are your thoughts on your alma mater?
You know what? You feel the chill bumps when the war chant starts.
Oh God!
I mean, it's back. You feel the vibe again. You feel the energy. You see the smiles. You see, like, we're going to win today. And I mean, the LSU game started at the beginning of the season to win that one in a crazy fashion. Then the gutsy performance the other day. Like, it's just fun to watch Florida State. Obviously, they're 3-0. You want to win and get back on track. And obviously, recruiting will take place over time. But it's fun to see. And so great for Norvell to kind of just, go through have to overcome some stuff over the last few years. And so it's just awesome as a former Seminole. All
right. You getting back to Tampa anytime soon? Coming back for a game at all?
I actually was down there the other day. I did something for just a day down there the other day, but I'm coming back for, I think I'll be back for the Chiefs game. So looking forward to that.
Oh, nice. All right, partner. Well, let me know when you're in town. Love to see you, partner. And thanks for spending some time with us.
Thanks, JP.
It's always fun. Thanks, Brad. Great stuff.
Appreciate it. Thanks, brother.
Thanks.
See you, man.
And sorry, my video portion is falling off the stream. We're having some technical issues today in our temporary studio.
I know. I let everybody know. I'm like, I can't see your beautiful mug right now, unfortunately. They got a black screen.
How many people are saying the shows are so much better? We don't have to look at his mug.
Yeah. See, now I'm like flipped here in the stream. If you could see, I'm on your headspace.
Oh my God.
In my headspace.
Oh my God.
So in the break, we're gonna have to fix this. But I'm telling you, the offer's open. If you want another laptop, we can get you on there.
Yeah, we'll have to do
right
that.
now. You're on black screen. Are you on your phone?
Yeah, I'm doing it on my phone. I got my phone screen up. Can you see me?
No, I only see a black screen right now.
I don't.
Oh, you got your camera off, don't you?
Well,
listen, I'm impressed that you were even able to pivot during a mid-interview to even get your phone up on here.
All right, I will fix it in the break, but the reason you can't see me.
What is it?
Can you see now?
No, I still see a black screen.
Okay. Well, all right. We'll figure it out. I forgot to flip the phone, like the camera.
There's always one thing. There's always a button. It's always something. Real quick. You can get.
We'll figure it all out. We'll figure it out. All right. Let's get out of here.
Let's hit a break.
That was a great interview. I know that much. That was awesome. I want to talk about that a little bit. So we'll take a quick break here. We'll be back in a second. It's the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging Investigations, emerginginv.com. Back in a moment. JP here for Emerging Investigations, Tampa Bay's premier investigation agency. Do you suspect your spouse is cheating or involved in a divorce, that your spouse is hiding money, an ex-employee or current employee with suspicious behavior? Is there a criminal matter? Using the professionals at Emerging Investigations is a slam dunk. Emerging Investigations is a licensed and insured private investigation. Emerging is your ideal resource to secure informed decisions in life's biggest matters. Led by industry executive Brian D'Antonio, Emerging possesses the experience and resources to get needed results. Emerging Investigations maintains an excellent reputation as a premier investigation agency. They are known for results. You're not just hiring a PI, but an organized, dedicated team using state-of-the-art technology. Their proven investigative methods produce crucial information used in criminal cases, insurance fraud, and personal injury claims. Many local attorneys, industry agencies, and your concerned neighbors all count on Emerging Investigations. Just go to their website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's 813-291-FACT-3228. Get results you can trust in life's biggest matters. Emerging Investigations. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan. He loves his Gators. In fact, he sponsors our Gator Report every Thursday at 11 o'clock with Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. But he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell them JP sent you. Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com.
Hey guys, Serena Fazan here for the Gold and Diamond Source. Are you looking for the hottest trends in men's jewelry? Ladies love to see men spice it up with something cool from the Gold and Diamond Source. Whether you're looking for a gold chain, fashion rings, even a pre-owned Rolex watch, or thinking about getting engaged, there's only one place to go. Go see my friends, Julie and Steve Weintraub at the Gold and Diamond Source for your one-stop jewelry supercenter. It's never been more important to shop local and support the businesses that support our amazing Tampa Bay community. None better than the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. 3800 Ulmerton Road or online at goldendiamond.com.
Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashland Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging Investigations at emerginginv.com. Also brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves, big Gator fan. We got to talk to him about that USF game and what's going on in Florida. Chris Pinson's scheduled to join us from WCJB in Gainesville tomorrow. And we'll also have Scott Carter on tomorrow as well. So we'll do a lot of Gators for you tomorrow and Friday as well. Who did they have this week? I'm trying to remember who they Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Right. They got Tennessee this week.
Big one.
That's
Game
a big
day.
one.
Game day.
And that's up at Tennessee, right?
Yeah, up in Tennessee, in Knoxville.
Ooh.
That's gonna be a large crowd. Large crowd.
Watch out. That's another 100,000 at Neyland Stadium there. And Anthony Richardson has more tackles than touchdown passes.
Yep.
Woo! I was going back and forth with some Gator fans yesterday. I'm trying to get them to invest in an RV. A bunch of us go up there for the weekend because already in Tallahassee, it's the Friday after after Thanksgiving. No Airbnbs, no hotels to be had. That is for the FSU Florida game in Tallahassee. Oof. So it's so if you want a place to stay, you got to bring your own on wheels.
Yeah, I did see, by the way, the SEC schedules were released yesterday. And I was reminded that FSU kicks off again in Labor Day next year against LSU. But it's in Orlando this time.
That's right.
So I like that.
I keep forgetting to find out why. I'm pretty sure I know why. That Tampa doesn't get those preseason games because the Glazers get the money. That's my thought, but I'll gotta confirm that. Because why would you play in Orlando? Why would you play in that rinky-dink Camping World?
I think college football likes
piece
that
of
thing.
crap.
College football always puts these remember Alabama and Louisville played there?
Yeah, but why would you?
Ago,
but if you're going to go to a neutral site, why would you not go to Raymond James Stadium? Maybe it has something to do with USF plays there, but no, because
I just think Orlando. I don't know. Orlando's always just been that kind of undisputed spot that they pick for these just.
Well, it's a great vacation spot. Obviously, you got all the theme parks
that's
there.
Where they put FSU and Ole Miss a few years ago.
It's a great bowl game.
Yeah, I think it's more about what's around there to do in the touristy area.
And I'm sure Orlando's way more aggressive than Tampa would be, as they could probably offer more money because of the contract that the Glazers get a huge part of the revenue. So that so they could
taking money, which is shocking.
But
sell the team.
But it doesn't make any sense. Why would you play in that stadium instead of a Super Bowl stadium? That stadium's ass.
Is that the definition of polishing a pig?
Yeah, putting lipstick on a pig. That is it. It's still bad. They've tried. They put some money into it, but it's still awful.
Anyway, great interview with Brad.
That was really good.
We had to soldier through some technical issues to get it done, but
yeah, that was really, really good. I thought he brought up some. By the way, if you were like hoping for a lot more recant of the Super Bowl, we've done that like many times.
Yeah, we had him on. We had him on a month or two ago before he was going into the Sports Club Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
we went kind of down that. So
so we did a lot of that, and those we posted a lot of those interviews. So I wanted to go a little different direction with this because it's really interesting having a son playing in this such a major role and quarterback role. And I thought Brad just eloquently talked about, being able to tell his story. Because if you don't know Brad's story in college, he and Casey Weldon went back and forth as starting quarterbacks. And Casey probably he definitely started more games than Brad did. But Brad was, always super successful when he played. He just won football games. And, it just was, and Casey Weldon, by the way, was a really, really good college quarterback. He was really, really good. And, he got drafted by the Bucs and came to a crappy team and just really never had a shot. I say this all the time. More quarterbacks, really, really good quarterbacks have gone to crappy teams where they get destroyed. You just got no chance in the NFL. And you just got the successful quarterbacks are either, you look at Brady, like Brady came into a winning situation, a somewhat winning situation. That New England team was good. And obviously great coaching around him. That was ripe for his abilities, and they developed him slowly, and that was a great situation.
Yeah. Another example is Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes.
You talk about having it made. You get to sit behind a really good quarterback in Alex Smith, and you get Andy Reid as your head coach.
And look at Trevor Lawrence. Look at the difference between jackass Urban Meyer.
Oh yeah.
And now he's got a professional coach.
Look at the team in general.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was one of the more shocking results last week with the 24-0 over the Colts. And the Colts are not what we thought they were. At least I thought they were. I thought they were a much better football team. But I think it underscores how good the Jags are. I think the Jags are pretty damn good. They've been drafted at the top of the freaking draft for 10 years now. I mean,
I hope at some point you figure it out.
You figure it out. Yeah. And Trevor Lawrence is good. And now he's got some weapons.
They overpaid for Christian Kirk, but he's honestly
worth every penny.
Worth every penny at the moment. It's better than throwing to, Marvin Jones as your number one or something like that.
Yeah. I think it was Ryan Clark or somebody was making the point. Yeah. Of what a true number one receiver can do for a quarterback. And look what it's done for Josh Allen. Having Stephon Diggs now, a true number one, really unlocks so much of what you can do. And that's why you have to have a balanced team on so many levels to win in the NFL. Like Brad was saying, you got to be great at everything. And you look at the Bucs right now, and I would say, well, their offensive line is falling apart.
Yeah,
that's just really, really an issue. Although Donovan Smith is coming back.
Is he going to play this week, though? Do we know that yet?
I don't know.
We don't know yet, but we don't think we've said it yet. Josh Wells just went on IR.
Yeah,
I think that just came down the pike about 10 minutes ago. Him and Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah, he's boy, we enjoyed having you for that one return, babe.
Yeah, you can't stay on the field.
Jesus,
so you're gonna get your Keyshawn Vaughn fix this. I don't know how much he'll play, but he'll be active.
I was a little surprised Rachaad White has not been better. Although the Saints run defense,
I throw everything out the window against the Saints. Yeah. I really do. I burn the tape.
Fournette could barely find any place to run.
Yeah, I burn the tape in a game like that against the Saints.
Yeah,
all around.
But you cannot give Fournette 25 touches. You can't. He can't survive it. You cannot survive it. We got to get those down to 17, 16. That doesn't sound like a big difference, but
yeah, because he's got miles.
But then again, I'm not running the ball.
He's got miles hit by 7 guys. Remember in Jacksonville, he was all they had on their offense at the time. You want to talk about bell cow and getting 25, 30 touches.
Mofo. He is one.
Oh, he really is. He invites contact. He initiates contact. See him?
They were showing some highlights of him just from this year. He trucked. Who did he truck in the Dallas game? One of their safeties. I forget. And what
the one I
what he did to Tyrann Mathieu. Holy shiz! Wow. He freaking trucked that dude. But yeah, I think Keyshawn Vaughn's going to get a few more touches this week. You drafted Rachaad White. I don't know if I might want to go trade that out with Keyshawn Vaughn right now.
Oh, come on. Don't do that. Don't do that. You just want to do that so you could stick it to me that I didn't draft a winning fantasy
team.
What
my dumb ass did. You can I'll cop to this one. First of all, I don't know what the hell Carmichael's doing with Taysom Hill in New Orleans. How do you give that guy one touch in a game like they played with the Buccaneers? That guy, you got to throw him 5 screen passes a game. You can't tackle that dude. The Bucs can't tackle him.
No, nobody can.
Nobody. How do you not give him 5 screen passes a game when you can't run the football? And you're downfield passing game. You don't want Jameis to throw the ball downfield. How do you not give that guy?
And I think that's a difference maybe in philosophy from Sean Payton.
100%.
That we're seeing now.
100%.
Everybody's asking how different is it going to be. Same thing with Bruce and Todd Bowles. How different it's going to be. We can already tell you how it's different with Todd Bowles, and then what it is with Bruce Arians. And he could say the first game, we took what the defense gave us. Well, you did the same thing against the Saints. You were going to run the ball until literally you had no options where you had to throw more in the third and fourth quarter because you just weren't doing anything with it. But I think they want to run the ball more so like they've done the last 2 games. So that's a philosophy switch there. Just like with not having Sean Payton, apparently the plays for Taysom Hill are few and far between.
Having a quarterback that can run like that in the red zone, I mean, what are you doing?
I don't know. It ain't my problem. I mean, again.
But from a fantasy standpoint, so I dropped Irv Smith, who got 75 targets the other night from Kirk Cousins, and went with Taysom Hill this week, even though I won.
That's a bad managing over
there. That's bad. I thought that, well, Taysom Hill, he's exclusively now, he doesn't have to worry about his quarterback duties. You could give him a quarterback package for runs, short yardage, goal line. He should get 3 or 4 touches in goal line situations. I mean, because as a defense, you never want to see a quarterback that can run in goal line because you constantly have the numbers advantage. And the guy can also throw the ball. I mean, I don't know what the hell you're thinking there. Plus, you got to give him 5 screen passes a game. And he can catch the ball as a tight end.
Yeah.
He's a weapon. Maybe they'll figure it out. Somebody needs to call Sean Payton. But anyway.
Not the Bucs problem.
Not the Bucs problem. Maybe in a couple weeks. But hopefully they won't figure it out till then.
But yeah, Josh Wells on injured reserve, so it's the Brandon Walton show for now.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, he played pretty well. And if he kept Brady upright, that's really all I care. I mean, I can get caught up. I use Pro Football Focus as a tool for offensive line play. I can get caught up in grades all I want, but if you kept the quarterback upright,
how did he grade out?
He graded out as a 60, which is probably average, I'd say. But he kept the quarterback upright. I mean, I'll take it.
Well, they did a lot of max protect and chipping, which they're going to have to do.
Against that line, though, for a guy like that to step in, who probably didn't even think he was going to get a snap in this game, to do that, I think I'm okay with it. And get a shout out from Brady on the pod as well. Yeah, that was good, right? John Boy Walton, well done. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to get to a little bit more on the Buccaneers in this matchup with the Packers because we haven't really talked about that. It's time to turn the page. And I'll tell you what, I was looking at some stuff last night, and I'm saying advantage Buccaneers big time. And also, there's one key factor about Aaron Rodgers that is really bizarre. It's the most bizarre stat, but we're going to tell you about it when we come back. We're brought to you by Emerging Investigations and the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES, lawgroup.com. Stay with us.
JP here for Italiano Insurance. If you've started a side hustle during COVID and the business has grown, well, you need business insurance because if you get sued, you could lose all your personal wealth if you're not properly protected. That's right. Your home, your savings, everything could go. So get protected now. Call the great agents at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799, and a real human will answer the phone and get you protected. If you haven't shopped your business insurance in a while, you could be overpaying by thousands. One customer had their golf buddy handling his business insurance, then called Italiano to shop it around, and they saved him $26,000 a year. Yeah, so call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Italiano Insurance, protecting all the pieces of your life for over 60 years. Military veterans, are you struggling with alcoholism or substance abuse? Is it taking a toll on your relationships and your work life? Are you having trouble focusing, constantly anxious? Well, you may not be surprised to know that your fellow military vets have your six. Heroes Mile is a new concept in rehabilitation clinics, veterans helping veterans. At Heroes Mile, we staff our rehab center with fellow veterans who can understand what you're going through. Our mission is to help you heal from issues that only your fellow veterans can truly understand. Located just outside of DeLand, we offer a full range of inpatient and outpatient programs dealing with substance abuse, post-traumatic stress, and military sexual trauma. We choose to serve veterans because we know how complex these issues are. You could choose to fight the battle alone or win the war together. We are the community care provider with the VA and also accept most major insurance. At Heroes Mile Rehabilitation Center, we have your six. Go to heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2. That's heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to JP Peterson Show, our second hour. Uh-oh. That was a big one. That could have been multiple. I could have turned into a multiple.
Did you just sneeze yourself out of the stream?
I did. Am I in? Am I back in?
Yeah, but now,
I can see it.
now you're in my box again.
Oh, what happened?
Now we got to do a switcheroo. You sneezed so hard, you somehow knocked yourself out of the stream. I don't know how to help you anymore. All right, stand by, everybody. We have to move him around here in the stream. No, it's there you go. It takes a second, but all of a sudden you sneezed and you dropped out of the stream, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, I get these, violent allergy attacks.
I know.
Where normally when I sneeze like that, it's like 10 in a row. It's bad. And so, but I've never actually had to do that live on air, which is shocking. Which is much time as I spent on it's kind of building right now. I don't know what the air conditioner just kicked on in here, so there's probably some dust running around. It's stay tuned, folks. Anything can happen.
My gosh,
this is the way we keep people watching. Anything can happen. We're brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Maybe Chris Lugo can help me out with my allergies here. I'll have to ask him about that. By the way, we had Chris on last week. They have a special going on right now with their weight loss programs, and he had some great information about weight loss in terms of nutrition. He's got like 10 degrees in nutritional science and really, really knows his stuff. Talks a lot about fasting. So go on our podcast section and just find the Chris Lugo interview. That's Chris with a K. And if you're interested, great information on that and diet and exercise. So check that out. And if you're interested in losing weight, he works with a lot of our top pilots in the military, so he can help you out as well. They use obviously the latest information, the latest philosophies in weight loss, and really so much of it is about what you eat and how you eat. And they can really, really help you out in that regard. Makes it so much easier when you're using the best science out there right now. So go to BAMMC.com, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, and just sign up, get an appointment. They'll help you out right there. Tell them JP sent you. All right, we're going to zero in on this Packers-Bucs matchup. We did not mention Keem Hicks out with a plantar fascia injury for a month, so he's going to miss 4 games. I got to tell you though, Nacho played really well.
Played better than Keem Hicks.
He did. Maybe Akeem was dealing with that foot injury and trying to play through it. whatever it is, Nacho played really, really well. So it's great to have somebody that can come in there and play in an injured situation like this. And you know what? He might just win the job.
I feel like, Nacho's not flashy. He's never going to be, but every time he gets opportunities, and he always has been thrust into roles because of injuries, whatnot, he's always done a rock solid job. Nothing ever I go, oh man, Nacho really, shit the bed there.
No.
It's nothing like that. He's probably one of the better backups in the league. And, maybe all along this is his job and you don't need a game record there. But the other thing too, this opens up more playing time for Logan Hall. And you were drafted.
That's right.
You were drafted very, very highly for a reason. And I think he out of all the rookies, he's just, for whatever reason, he's gotten the least amount of pub, even though he was the highest one picked. We don't really hear much about him. He's not really talked about much in the media and everything, but he's going to see a lot more playing time. But I'm not expecting much there, to be honest. I mean, a jump from Houston to the NFL, it's the Green Bay Packers. They usually have a really good O-line. But then again, the Bucs have had a lot of success. I think they've sacked Rodgers 9 times the last 2 times they've played him. So it's an opportunity there. But I need better from Vita Vea, too, who I got to be honest with you, has not been great through the first 2 weeks. Don't know what's going on in the interior. So
I think he's been okay. Well, he's handling he's handling a lot of double teams every single play.
I tell you what, I was trying to think about, the Bucs defense, and I heard Devin White say, after the Dallas game, at least, we knew we were fine letting them run the ball. I wonder if that's like a new philosophy switch, because the Bucs were always leaky against the pass and they always were stingy against the run. And I think that was one of the criticisms I'd hear people say. I think it might have been Warren Sapp who said it. The Bucs defense, his problem with it is that they play it as if they're trying to stop Earl Campbell. Like there's Walter Payton or Earl Campbell back there, instead of worrying about the pass. And this year, you see the move for Antoine Winfield in the back, right?
Yeah.
Logan Ryan come in. It almost feels like they're okay with letting someone run a little bit, because you're not going to win an NFL just trying to run the ball. And now look how good the secondary is now. It's a top 5 secondary in the league. So I wonder if there's also been maybe a little bit of a tweak there too.
It could be. Because, you always have to stop the run. That's number, because, as they always say, the easiest thing is to turn around and hand it off. But yeah, I think obviously the game has changed, so there needs to be more, more emphasis on. And listen, I think people talk about the base 3-4 and whatever. Nickel package is the base defense in today's NFL. I mean, let's just be honest about that. You're always going to have more defensive backs than maybe in years past. So that's just the way it is in most defenses now.
And in this game anyway, I mean, bring you back to the Packers. I mean, I'm looking at this matchup, and I like the Bucs' chances because of the Bucs secondary. And I'm just thinking, who the hell is going to get open in this Packers receiving corps against Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis and Antoine Winfield? Who are we scared for?
Is Lazard coming back?
Lazard played in the last game.
Yeah,
so he's there, but is he really a number one?
No, he's not. Christian Watson coming home to Tampa. Well, hopefully he'll be dropping more touchdown passes.
Yeah,
we don't wish that on anybody.
I do
as a young man, but against the Bucs maybe. But let's hope he doesn't have a breakout game. He's going to be a good receiver. So I talked about that Aaron Rodgers number, and this is as of last year. I think it's before the bad game in Jacksonville to start the season last year against the Saints, where he got destroyed. His record is 3-5 in the state of Florida, with a passer rating below 75. Ooh. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, what the hell? He just obviously the Bucs destroyed him last year. What was it, 38-3? Am I thinking about that game? Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is not good in the state of Florida.
I thought you were going to just leave it off at not good.
He's just not. It's the most bizarre thing. He just can't play in Florida. And now he's coming in against this defense, which really, has played well against him. It's kind of like Brady against the Saints. And Brooks ran for what? 134 last week. Their running back,
Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
Aaron Jones. He ran for a good amount, and so did Dylan.
Yeah. So but they're not going to run on the Bucs. They're not. And Bakhtiari is still out. Their other tackle is a sieve.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is going to get killed this week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I look here at the pass catchers. So Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, it's never a good sign when both your running backs are leading you in receptions.
Right.
And your top 2 receivers have 6 catches each. Romeo Dobbs and Sammy Watkins through 2 games. I don't know. I mean, the Packers, they didn't have to win that way against the Bears. Like I said, they could have just coasted all the way through there. They ran the ball, whatever.
Yeah.
You can't do that against the Bucs. You're going to have to air it out a little bit. So this is probably the first test for the Packers here against a really good secondary, because I don't think Minnesota's secondary was much home to write about, and they struggled there. So I tell you, the more I think about it, it's like we were hoping to get out of this 4-game set 2v2, and now we're already got 2 out of the way. I think they can win all 4. I really do. And I think they're the favorite in this game against Green Bay. And I'm just struggling to figure out where Green Bay is going to beat the Bucs in this game. I'm really struggling to figure it out.
Defensively, their defense is still really, really good.
Yeah,
they're going to have to beat them the way I thought Dallas and Green Bay were going to, or the Saints were going to beat them. And that's getting turnovers and beating them defensively. Because offensively, I just don't see where the Packers.
It's a work in progress right now.
Yeah, it really is. We're catching them at a really good time, because I think by the end of the year they'll be good.
Yeah, and maybe you can say the Bucs offense is a little bit of a work in progress too.
Absolutely,
and we don't know who's going to be
100%.
in there. I'm assuming we're going to get the Mike Evans appeal decision today, but
keep an eye out for that.
Not exactly thinking that's going to get overturned. They usually don't. So who knows who's going to be in there, who's going to be out of there. The Packers do have like probably a top 3 secondary in football, and Jair Alexander is no joke as a top corner in this league. So whoever draws his matchup is probably going to have a hard time. So it could be another game where the Bucs stick to the run and try to establish that.
Here's an interesting thing that just happened. The Bucs made some roster moves. Giovanni Bernard and Wells going injured reserve. Corresponding moves. Kalen Geiger, wide receiver. They're bringing up, not Cole Beasley. Kalen Geiger has been signed to the active roster, and Kenny Young, the linebacker, also signed to the active roster. So that's obviously a special teams move.
And they did sign a depth offensive tackle too as well. Justin School.
He's
25 years old.
Appeared in 31 career games, making 12 starts since entering the league as a 6th-round selection of the Niners in 2019 draft. Spent the 2021 season on IR for the Niners after suffering a knee injury in June. So he started the final 40 games of his collegiate career at Vanderbilt. So you got an SEC tackle.
That's experience in there. He's played in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's interesting. So he's coming off a knee injury. So whatever, though, this guy's got some.
You just need bodies.
Yeah. They need somebody in the interior too, man. I'm scared with somebody. If one of those guards goes down. Walton's been kicked out to tackle now. So
yeah, and you still have Fred Johnson in there too, by the way.
Yeah, true.
Again, I'm not begging to see Fred Johnson by any means, but
it's interesting that Walton went in before he did.
What does it say about Fred Johnson?
Not much.
Well, Fred Johnson, he was on the Bengals offensive line. If you're a Bengals offensive lineman, I don't trust you at all. I don't want you guarding the GOAT.
Yeah,
bottom line.
But you know what? That's the thing about having Tom Brady is you're able to work around these offensive line issues because of his quick release, and you can go max protect, and his arm is so strong and so accurate. You could put 2 or 3 guys out in a pattern and still get a completion. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing here because I was kind of scrolling through Twitter here to see if we had any updates, and I guess Julian Edelman was on some kind of show inside the NFL last night with Phil Simms, Michael Irvin, and my goodness, what is his name? CBS host on their pregame show.
Oh, God, my brain is not working today. I
see his face.
Yeah, that's
what is his name?
James Brown.
James Brown. There you go. And he's like, are you going to be signing up to give Tom Brady?
Sorry, our small white guy quota is full right now.
Yeah, Julian Edelman said, I don't want to. Julian Edelman, I guess, said, I don't want to talk about this. I didn't get a call.
Oh, he's pissed. He's pissed.
He looks sad. He's like, are you going to be signing with Tampa Bay to give them a little wide receiver help? He's like, I don't want to talk about this. And then he pauses. He's like, they just signed Cole Beasley. They didn't give me a call.
Wow. And that was Tom Terrific making that call. Wow. Maybe Tom's turning on all his old New England guys. I'm sure he wants Gronk back. I can't believe my impassioned plea yesterday to Gronk did not work. I was shocked by that. Maybe he's mulling it over. Maybe he hasn't seen the tape yet. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But I do like this matchup for the Buccaneers. I really don't. It's going to be 4:00 game. Place is going to be packed. It's going to be loud. It's going to be hot. It's going to be nasty. But Rodgers hates playing in Florida. You know, he's going to get knocked around. He's going to get hit a bunch.
That's what I'm telling you. I think that the 9 sacks in the 2 matchups against him, that shows you that Todd Bowles has his number.
Yeah, he really
this
does.
Offensive front has his number. And a better Devin White, a more controlled Devin White, as we've been talking about, already 3 sacks after having just 3.5 last season. I bet he's going to be everywhere on this field. And he has a great matchup, by the way, him and Levante David with both those running backs in the passing game.
And I like the fact that, you know, when you talk about this pass rush being more, I think it's way more athletic with Tryon. You know, and Nacho's quicker and runs better than a Keem Hicks. And, you know, got Vita Vea, obviously. Shaq's
been fantastic.
Shaq's playing really, really well. He's coming. You know, I mean, I like because Aaron Rodgers, when he's going to try to escape, and normally he can run away from guys, not this defense.
He can't run from this defense. They're too fast. And even like the depth guys, I mean, Anthony Nelson, we've already seen him pick up a sack this year in the Dallas game, right?
Right.
And then we saw Carl Nassib, the other backup pass rusher linebacker, get the forced fumble. Fumble recovery. So we've already seen those death pieces even pick it up. And again, Joe Tryon is part of that as well, who has like, I think, a half a sack or a sack on the season. It's been a great start for the Bucs pass rush. And like you said, with all the injuries to the Packers offensive line, the Bucs playing at home, and the Bucs used to be awful playing at home, if you remember. And I think now they're playing is
it's a
much different team, but
different coaching staff.
Everything's different, but they used to be
Didn't
awful.
Lovey go winless at home?
Yes, he did. He went winless at home.
Jesus.
It was awful, but this team has now figured out to play their best at home, to be honest with you, to where they're probably favored to win every game they play at home, no matter the opponent. No different this week. So I'm jacked up for this one. And again, like I said, I think the Packers' way for them to win is going to be a lot harder for them to do than the Bucs, because the Bucs have already proven they can play that style of game against 2 good opponents and win. Packers have not.
Yeah. The home opener, and it's the home opener. This is all trending in the Bucs' favor.
Yeah, the whole thing is, and again, I understand like national media is going to national media, right?
Yeah.
But I watch all these shows sometimes, and I read the headlines, and I listen, and it's like everybody's like acting like the Bucs, like the sky's falling in Tampa Bay because the offense is not moving, and I'm like, there's 5 teams in the NFL right now who are 2-0.
Yeah.
There's 5, and the Bucs are one of them.
Yeah.
What the hell are we talking about?
And if not for a garbage touchdown for the Saints, they'd have a 16-point win over the Cowboys and a 17-point win over the Saints on the road.
Yeah.
That's dominant.
Yeah.
It's just not flashy.
It's not flashy.
It's not Brady.
It's not the Bills.
2 through 6 touchdown passes. Yeah, and their defense gave up 1,000 yards. You know, that's not complimentary football. The Bucs defense is killing it, and this offense is doing what it needs to do to win football games. When they needed a big play, they got it. And that's what Brady is there for. When you need a deep ball, you just need one.
Yeah.
Just need one. And there it is.
And they're playing with so many like moving parts and everything that I think a lot of people just aren't taking into account. And a lot of guys who aren't in the lineup, and you never know who's going to get an injury the next day. And yet they're still going out there winning football games.
And dare I say this, given what the personnel is for this Buccaneers team right now and the injuries they sustained, if they went out there and tried to chuck it 45 times a game against Dallas and against the Saints, they'd have lost those games.
Probably, yeah.
They'd have lost those games.
Especially against the Saints. And I think this is the Bowles style. And this is the thing that makes this team a better, more rounded team. They can win different ways. You know, last year, I think in the last couple of years, they had to just outscore you. And they could. Most games they could do that. No question about it. So I'm not saying it was bad. They had the personnel to do it. But with the personnel they have right now and the offensive line in flux and the injuries to the receivers, you know, you may have tried to force it and just, we are going to throw it 45 times anyway. We've got Tom Brady. We're going to throw. And Brady would be beaten up. He'd be hit a lot more. There'd be more chances for interceptions. And you'd be giving games away. Whereas this way, you know, it's hard to beat the Bucs when they don't give up turnovers. You know, that's the way the Saints have beaten. That's the way the Rams have beaten them, sacks and turnovers. And if you don't give them an opportunity to do that as much, you have a better chance to win. And that's what Todd Bowles, that's his philosophy. And that's a winning philosophy right now. Yeah. And if you're going to run the ball though, in this game, it's like, you got to have a much better effort from the offensive line than what you saw against New Orleans, where they just had trouble creating holes. And I think Luke Gedeke didn't have his best I think he played much better in the Dallas game
than
he did in New Orleans. I went back and looked at a little bit of the Y'all 22 yesterday, and I didn't hear his name much, but Cameron Jordan actually was pretty active in this game, and he had some moments where he got matched up against Gedeke, and he kind of had his way, which you'd expect.
They couldn't create seams in the running game.
They could not.
They could
and
just got no push up front.
I'm looking at like this game, and Kenny Clark's a damn good, defensive tackle that's going to be in the middle of this game, and he's had a fantastic start to the season for Green Bay, so that's going to be a matchup if he's on Gedeke or Hainsey, whatever. So I need better there. Rashawn Gary can get to the quarterback as well, so that we're going to be looking at that for Brandon Walton too. So I just think you need to get a better effort from these rookie offensive linemen a little bit. And I think mostly Gedeke I'm pointing at, because I think Hainsey has actually played well. Has been a standout in 2 games. I think Gedeke is right now behind everybody else on that line.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But he'll learn. I think he's got the ability to do it. His head's probably swimming right now, and he's probably not playing.
Oh, it's not. We talked about Scott Reynolds. There's 3 big adjustments that he's making.
Exactly.
And it's hard for anybody. I get it. It's just you're more hard off him now because the Bucs have a standard here that we've set, and you expect everybody to just come in and be that guy. And it's just Brady talked about that in the podcast. You expect perfection, but you'll be chasing that forever now.
Yeah, and also you got to think about this for him from a confidence standpoint. Playing at Central Michigan, he probably dominated physically everybody he played against. It was probably pretty easy for him. And now he's firing off the line, and guys are pushing him back for the first time probably in his career.
Yeah.
And he's probably going, damn, what do I do with this? And it's technique, it's effort, it's just making adjustments. And he's going to have to learn it. And he's learning it on the fly. It's a tough ask. And I think he's going to be a hell of a lot better at the end of the year than he is right now. So it's a process. The Bucs know that. They got to coach around it. They got to give him some help. They got to get him involved in double teams. And there's way to scheme out of that. And they'll do that. They got a good offensive line coach. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, and also too, I guess I'll call this an update, but the Bucs put a photo on their Instagram or Twitter this morning ahead of practice, and it was of Donovan Smith coming out to practice.
Good.
So and he looks as if he's doing okay. He has a sleeve on his right arm, but as you can see right here, he
looks like he's in good spirits.
So
yeah.
Hopefully we'll see the practice report today, but the fact that they're putting him on Twitter, it's usually a good sign.
Yeah, and he thought he was going to be able to play last week a little. I don't know if it was close or not, but it just seemed like it was, at least up to weekend. So
that's why I think
there doesn't seem to be anything structurally wrong with the elbow. It's just
it's a pain tolerance thing. I think Bowles described it
as
a
strength thing. I mean, if you just don't have the strength to use your arms, you can't be out there.
Yeah, so I'm expecting him back, and then I think everybody's expecting Julio back in this game.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. And
I think Julio's back, and now we wait on Mike Evans. And I think this has got enough national play of how ridiculously unfair that suspension is. I don't think anybody's arguing that Mike should be. I think most people are saying, okay, I get why he's suspended. What about everybody else? So does the NFL come back this day and go, you know what, y'all were right. So Lattimore's suspended and keeps Evans suspended, or does he? Because obviously the conflict of interest thing is there. James Trask is going to be the one who adjudicates this one. So we'll see. I'm not real hopeful, to be honest with you.
No.
But you never know. The NFL is such a PR league too, right? I think that the idea that Runyon was the guy who wrote the letter, his son plays for the Packers, I think that made the rounds. I think the NFL is keenly aware of it. They're very obviously aware of trying to not appear like they're favoring one team over the other for gambling reasons. So who knows? It's a shot. And, it's not like you want him to delay the suspension a week, because honestly, I think you got a better chance to beat the Packers than the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a way better team than the Packers right now. So
yeah,
if he's going to have to be suspended at all, I'd rather be this week.
And we
can beat the Packers without Mike Evans. I hate to say that, but.
And how do you feel about Chris Godwin going into this week? Would you, even if he says, "Coach, I think I'm good to go," do you hold him off just one more week, get him back for the Chiefs game? I think the Evans is,
if Evans plays, hold him. If Evans plays, don't.
And how quickly can we get Cole Beasley up to speed?
Yeah,
because he's out there.
Weird that they would elevate Geiger so quickly. Because I would put him, as far as what I saw in the preseason, I would put him behind Tompkins and was Stearns, yeah. I'd put him behind both those guys.
Well, let's think it through here. So
there must be some special teams thing.
Yeah, it's always something like that. Yeah. Let me think it through real quick. So if you're putting Geiger into the active roster, that would be the Mike replacement. That'd be the one-on-one, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I'm not saying he's playing that role. I'm just saying that would be the roster replacement. Theoretically.
Yeah.
So to get Cole Beasley back up here, unless you just are putting Geiger there at the moment until you can get Cole Beasley, like, can they do that? I
don't know.
Can they take Geiger back off the roster at the end of the week if they feel like Cole Beasley's up to speed?
I think they can.
That might be what they're doing. Brutal business for Kalen Geiger.
Yeah.
But that might be what they're doing unless they have this idea that another receiver is not going to play in this game, not named Chris Godwin, because obviously he already had his replacement in there in that game.
So as it stands now, we have Julio, Scotty Miller,
Jalen
Darden, and Rashad Perriman. Right? Those are our healthy guys. And Russell Gage. That's right, Russell Gage, who has to step up this week. So, I mean, look, I keep Godwin out, especially if Evans is allowed to play. It's not even a question. You definitely keep Godwin out. If Evans can't play, I still think you keep Godwin out. But it just kind of depends on how bad the hamstring is. They brought him back too early. I was not pleased with that. That was a bad decision. Hindsight, but that was pre-sight for me, right? That was
I know you were calling for him, not
it's no reason to. It's just no reason to. With all the guys healthy, there was no reason for him to be out there. But whatever. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We were rudely interrupted. Brad Johnson rudely interrupted Kevin Cash, so we'll get to that as well. And some other surprises coming your way, and we're awaiting word on Mike Evans. Hopefully, we'll get it in the next few minutes. We can talk about that. Stay with us.
Time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com.
Hi, my name is Mike Warner, a Navy vet. I've had problems with addictions throughout the many decades. Something saved my life, and that is the Heroes Mile program.
Hi, I'm Bill Lennox, retired Lieutenant General, United States Army. If you have any challenges in alcohol, drug, if you have PTSD, MST, think about Heroes Mile.
Heroes Mile, a recovery center for veterans by veterans. Call 1-888-VET-NOW2 to learn more or visit heroesmile.com.
Hey guys, Serena Fazan here for the Gold and Diamond Source. Are you looking for the hottest trends in men's jewelry? Ladies love to see men spice it up with something cool from the Gold and Diamond Source. Whether you're looking for a gold chain, fashion rings, even a pre-owned Rolex watch, or thinking about getting engaged, there's only one place to go. Go see my friends, Julie and Steve Weintraub at the Gold and Diamond Source for your one-stop jewelry supercenter. It's never been more important to shop local and support the businesses that support our amazing Tampa Bay community. None better than the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, or online at goldendiamond.com.
Are you concerned your spouse might be cheating, or want to locate a long-lost relative or love? Or a missing person and the police are not helping? An insurance adjuster who needs proof of injury. Hi, I'm Rachel D'Antonio from Tampa Bay's premier private investigation agency, Emerging Investigation. We have a proven track record of results. Local attorneys and insurance companies hire us to discover insurance fraud and crucial information in criminal cases. We can help in custody matters, and we devote a tremendous state-of-the-art technology and cutting-edge industry surveillance techniques to get you trusted results. Larger corporate agencies can be more expensive and do not offer the personal level of customer service and interaction that we pride ourselves on. We are a family-owned business. Our professional experience team includes my son, lead investigator, Zach D'Antonio, a former collegiate athlete, and my daughter, Emily, who leads our in-house investigations team. Don't take matters into your own hands by trying to install snooping programs on phones or GPS trackers. That can cause unneeded stress and give you inaccurate results. Go with the professionals at Emerging Investigations. We have proven results and tremendous testimonials from our satisfied customers. Call for a free consultation and we can discuss how we can help. Peace of mind is as valuable as bad news. Just go to our website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's emerginginv.com. We're Emerging Investigations. We get results in life's biggest matters.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Also brought to you by Jeeves Law Group in our second hour here, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you have had your car totaled in the last few years and the insurance company did not pay you what you think it was worth and all those extra expenses that you had to do to get a new car, blah, blah, blah. I went through that. And the Jeeves Law Group specializes in working with insurance companies to get that money for you. And Scott Jeeves is an absolute bulldog when it comes to getting that money. Insurance companies do not want to see him coming because this is a common practice. They don't give you as much as your car is worth. And a lot of people get shorted. So if that happened to you, go to JeevesLawGroup.com, JeevesLawGroup.com, and they will help you out and figure out a strategy. See if you have a case. It's a free call. Just tell them what you got, what you think it was worth, and they can probably recover some of those extra expenses for you as well. By the way, I'm having a power issue with this computer over here. So we're doing all producing on. So if you have a cord for that, I might need that. The Rays last night lost 5 freaking zip to the Astros. They have not scored a run in 20 innings, and a polite crowd of 8,972 were there last night. Nick and I had a great discussion on attendance. Right, little debate in our first segment. If you missed that, definitely want to go back and check that out. Might have to put my little rant up there a little bit later on. So the crowd wasn't great. There was no energy in the building last night. If you tried to watch that game last night, it was just so freaking boring to watch. But we thought we'd listen to Kevin Cash and see if he's ticked off. Is Kevin Cash ticked off? Did we get salty Cash last night?
He might have, but he was a little bit more concerned about Shane McClanahan.
Yeah, that is scary stuff. Yeah. Without Shane McClanahan, the Rays have zero chance in the postseason.
All right, Kevin, we'll start with Shane, the left side of his neck, tightness and spasms. I guess what's the report on him?
I think he's in a pretty good spot. I mean, he was pretty adamant. He did not want to come out. Was not happy about that. But we're trying to make the best decision. It's the second start back from missing some time on the IL. I think we all understand how important he is to our club. And if I see something that is uncharacteristic, I think the best course of action is to pull him out of the ball game and we can revisit, and it's okay for him to be mad at me.
So fair to say you guys think it won't be anything serious?
I do not. I certainly hope not. Do not. I mean, we look in Toronto. We were very aware of every movement, motion, everything. He looked awesome. I thought he looked good today. The stuff was right in line with what it was in Toronto. You got to give credit to the Astros that there's a reason why they're pushing 100 wins. They're a very good offense.
And the offense on this side, again, quiet tonight. I guess, what do you guys have to do to kind of get the bats to wake up against some good pitching?
Yeah, it's good pitching. No doubt. I mean, Javier.
What happened?
Coming in, we knew he was going to be challenging. Just good fastball, good breaking ball, unique.
We're getting stuttering here from Wi-Fi. We're in our temporary studio here today while we're getting our new podcast studio built here at CP Communications. So sorry, we're having little issues here. Safe to say, look, they're scuffling right now from an offensive standpoint. I don't know. Last night, Wander would they have 3 hits last night?
I think he got on base 4 times.
Last night. 2 walks, a double. He was the only guy doing anything and having good at bats. I even saw Peralta swinging at really, really bad pitches. I think Ramirez may have gotten a knock, but
of course he did.
Just good. G-Man is lost. He's adding 0 to what's going on here. They're hurting for offense. I don't know where they're going to get it. I don't, Jonathan Aranda has been pretty good. He's hitting over 300, right? And he's been squaring up balls, but
he was leading off yesterday. They trusted him there, but he went over 4 with 2 Ks. But
yeah, it's just bad right now. And tonight they get Lance McCullers, local kid, Jesuit young man who's coming off of Tommy John, 2 years ago, and he's
pitching well.
Yeah, he was lights out before that, and now has come back and he's pitching well.
Yeah, and I don't like the Rays' chances in this one because Corey Kluber has seemed like he's hit a wall of sorts, and against this offense, I'm not feeling good about that. And hey, guess who comes into town after this series?
Who'd that be?
The Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, great.
Yay.
They only scored 18 runs last night.
Yay, the Toronto Blue
75
Jays.
hits last night against the Phillies. I mean, they're pounding the baseball.
Yeah.
And we said this last week. You look at their lineup and you're like, holy hell. Like you look at the Rays, okay, tell me start Toronto in their lineup.
Wander Franco.
That's it.
I think Randy gets in that lineup, but I think there's a can we all just admit, like, there's a difference in the threat that we believe the Rays bats do, even their best threats, and there's a difference in the threats of some of these other lineups.
Right.
There's a difference. It's hard to explain, but you can't just look at numbers and say, oh, well, he's doing better than this guy. There's a difference there. Like,
well, the thing is the lineup.
It's the lineup in general. Like, I don't know why, but like, I mean, like George Springer comes to the plate, or like Teoscar Hernandez comes to the plate. Bo Bichette comes to the plate. Obviously, Vlad Guerrero comes to the plate.
Every one of them, you think,
go
can take
every
a
down
yard.
the lineup, and I feel like anybody at any moment can go yard.
Yeah,
that's the difference. In the Rays lineup, I'm not expecting anybody to hit a home run until like unless it happens. I guess I'm just not.
You'll really want to tune into the broadcast tonight. You know who's going to be in the booth?
Who?
The Outlaw.
KK's going to be in the booth?
In the booth the whole
game.
game.
My best friend. I miss KK. I miss KK. Jose Siri's trying to replace, and he's done a good job, but I miss KK.
I was the over-under on how many times he glosses himself.
Is he going to show up with the eye black still? One more time, Kevin. Oh, we'll never see it again. One more time, Kevin. Is this the retirement press conference? Maybe that's what it is.
It might be.
Or the goodbye to the Rays press conference. It might be what it is.
I was like, why are they bringing him on? It's just there was
something there, right?
I would think. I mean,
has he been in the dugout? It's like they would have showed him or something on like the TV broadcast. I have
not seen him in the dugout.
I'm sure he has been, but I mean,
what is it? $3.5 million to buy him out next year
so.
of a $15 million deal. So the Rays are certainly not picking up that deal. Yeah, he's played his last game for the Rays, no question about that. But yeah, maybe this is kind of the goodbye tour.
I don't know. Hopefully,
are they gonna show his 10 best catches, and then he's gonna talk about himself? I love KK. I do. I kind of laugh. Like when they did that, it was like
you gotta have fun with him, man.
You do. You have to have fun with him. Because I don't think he does it. I don't think it doesn't come off as a boastful, cocky thing. Well, to me anyway. To me, it just kind of comes off. It's like, dude, do you not realize that you're not supposed to really talk about yourself that way? But whatever. It is what it is. And, look, the guy's spectacular. He makes a lot of amazing plays, makes a lot of average plays look amazing. I mean, he's KK. He will always be a part of this franchise history in a lot of different ways. Come up with some very, very big moments for this team. One of my favorite moments of all time was his retrieving the ball off the wall and then the relay to Adames to get, was it Altuve?
Yeah,
at the plate.
Altuve.
Yeah, what a freaking
little rat.
That was just spectacular.
Yeah, and even last year in the playoffs, there wasn't many guys in the lineup who brought their bats with them to the postseason, but he was one of them.
But he did.
he was one of them. So I mean, I'll always remember that with KK. I will say though, I don't even know why I have to address this, but because I see it about once a month on Twitter, folks, he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer.
Who?
KK. Believe it or not, there is a portion of Rays fans that are like pounding the
Do the Rays have a Hall of Fame I'm not aware of? You're certainly not talking about the Major League Hall of Fame.
No, I'm talking about the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Stop.
There are Rays fans who keep posting all these charts and all these graphics about his war. Oh my! I mean, just stop telling about the damn war, man. I care, but I don't care. I care, but I don't care because his entire war is made up almost like 90% of it is his defensive war. And I think the argument there is like, oh well, he was so good defensively they should have a wing in the Hall of Fame for people that are so good at that. That's not how it works.
No.
You're supposed to have more than just one tool, and KK has about maybe 2 of them of the 5.
Not many.
He's not a Hall of Famer, and they're trying to tell me if he plays at the production he's been playing at for 5 more years, like he's going to play 5 more years in this league. I doubt it. But if he plays at this production that he's been doing now for the Rays, he's going to have like a 50 WAR or whatever, and that puts him in the Hall of Fame candidacy bubble. No. No, ain't happening.
All right, we're going to take a real quick break, our final break here. We're going to come back and wrap things up. Hopefully have a special guest coming on, talk about a charity I'm involved in this weekend. So stay with us. Quick break.
Tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashland Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to JP Peterson Show, brought to you in our second hour by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVDS lawgroup.com. Check them out if you have any issues, personal injury, or if your insurance company shorted you on your totaled car. They have a great way to recover some of that money. So go to jeeveslawgroup.com and tell them JP sent you. All right, I want to bring in our friend Mariah Hayden. She's the executive director of New Life Village in Tampa, and I will be working with her this weekend on a great fundraiser, and I believe she is trying to get me to dress up like Elvis.
Oh, please, will you?
Mariah, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I'm really looking forward to emceeing this weekend, and my girlfriend Ashley is trying to nudge me in that direction to do the whole Elvis wig and the white jumpsuit. I see you got a scarf for me there too. So
Elvis scarf. Yep.
Very nice, very nice. Tell us about the fundraiser this weekend, and people can get involved as well.
Absolutely. So we're really excited. It is our inaugural Viva Las Village casino night, Elvis themed casino night. And it's to support New Life Village, which is a charity over here in Palm River. It's basically a community for families getting children out of foster care or preventing them from going into foster care. And then there's a whole on-site program, and there's affordable housing. And it's a really cool concept over here. And we are expanding the program. 80 new residents are moving in this fall. And so we need to raise money for services and supplies as our village basically doubles. So the casino night is at T. Pepin Hospitality Center. It is Elvis themed, so you can dress up casino casual or Elvis or Priscilla themed. There's an Elvis contest. And you can win, JP. I think you might win. I don't know.
I'm not eligible. I'm the MC, so I'm not eligible. That's fine.
Maybe we'll see. We've got a Vegas style buffet, open bar. We've got themed cocktails, an Elvis peanut butter bourbon, and a blue Hawaiian drink featured for the evening. Yeah.
Nice.
So the village kids have been working really hard and made some beautiful artwork, some themed artwork that will be for auction. There will be a silent auction, and then there's also going to be, of course, awesome raffle prizes for the winners. Lots of gaming, roulette, and blackjack, and poker, and all kinds of different stuff to win prizes at.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. It's at the T. Pepin Center. Tell me a little bit more about what you do at New Life Village. And as you mentioned, it's doubling in size because of the economy has gotten so bad. It's just it's just a bad situation right now, and these foster kids need a place to go.
Well, we've got two things going on here in Tampa that are unique. We've got an affordable housing crisis, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. There's just not enough inventory for working families out there of affordable housing. And then you've got a foster care crisis. So our numbers are the highest in the state of Florida. Kids that need foster parents, they need to be placed in a permanency, they need to be adopted. So what we do is we provide a supportive community, and we incentivize people to adopt children out of foster care like relatives, grandparents, aunts, and uncles. Those are called kinship providers, to come in and raise these children. And so our thank you to them is to provide that affordable housing. So we're right at the crossroads of those two crises. Once you live here, it's like living at a YMCA. There's all kinds of programs. There's birthday parties and swim lessons and field trips and sports mentoring activities that helps the kids focus on healing. It's a community where there's no stigma for being adopted or a foster child. You just get to be you, which is really the biggest gift that we have. Yep. Lots of programming, lots of opportunities for healing and stability for the caregivers, for the kids. And then we also have senior citizens that live here, and they serve as surrogate grandparents, tutors, and mentors to these kids. So we are living the proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. We're the only one in the state of Florida doing what we're doing right now. We're pretty proud of that.
And how many kids total are you serving?
We have about 50 right now. I say about because folks move in and move out. And then with this expansion, we're looking at about another 60 children. So we'll be over 100 children at the end of the year. And those families can live here as long as they qualify, as long as they're positively impacting foster care, and as long as they're participating in the program and volunteering.
Well, it sounds like a great village that you have there with great opportunities for these kids. I know foster care is no picnic for a lot of these children, but in a place like this, it sounds like at Disney World compared to some of the other things that they have to go through. I'm familiar with some of it. So you're doing the Lord's work there, literally saving lives for these kids. So that's not so much to ask. You want to spend a little money. How can people get to the event this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can either register online if you visit newlifevillage.org. A casino night tile will pop right up. Just click on that, register. You can also register at the door for the event.
So, and that's Saturday night at T. Pepin. So if you want to see me in Elvis getup, maybe come for the drinks and the fun anyway. Trust me, it'll be a lot better than anything I can provide. Mariah, thanks so much for coming on, and thanks for all the work you and your organization do. It's tremendous helping out these kids who are very much in need. So I look forward to seeing you on Saturday night. And anybody who wants to come join us, come join us. We're going to have some fun.
Thank you so much.
All right,
see you Saturday.
Yes, we'll be there. All right, that'll do us for the show today. Like I said, if you guys missed the opening debate for Nick and I about Rays fans coming to the park. I'm sure we'll have a nice. You think we get over 10 grand tonight? I think maybe the Tucker and McCullers family will boost it up. So
yeah. Before we sign off, real quick, did get the Mike Evans's suspension was upheld.
Upheld.
So he will be out on Sunday. Not shocking there. There's a couple notes at practice today. No Julio, no Godwin, no Donovan Smith. And Tom Brady, supposed to be an off day for him, had his helmet on and is throwing.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Doesn't want your off day now.
Yeah, maybe. Well, you know what? He needs to get some chemistry going with some of these new receivers. They got to be better. I mean, he talked about it on his podcast. They got to be better. They're not going to need to score a lot of points this weekend to beat the Packers, I don't think, but they got to score some. If Rodgers gets out of the pocket, who knows what he can do. But I just think in general, it's a game they can win, but we'd like to see the offense be a little bit better. Our thanks to Brad Johnson. Really interesting interview with Brad Johnson today, talking about his son Max and Jake and all the things that are going on with him and the Bucs as well. It's a really, really good interview. If you missed it, you want to check that out as well. All right, so Rays tonight, it's Kluber against McCullers at 6:40. We'll be back here tomorrow to talk about all of it, talk a lot of college football tomorrow, and get ready for Bucs Packers. Have a great day, everybody.